Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Here we are.
We are here.
Here we go.
It's been an interesting little week for us, Mary.
It's been a great week.
It has been a great week. I think we're tuckered. We're both a little tuckered.
We dragged ourselves in here today.
But we got some good stuff for you guys.
Yes.
I'm going to start us off, Mary, with what's new in the garden.
Well, what's new in the garden is this happened purely by
happenstance. We're going to use that word. I like that word.
This was not planned.
No, it was not planned.
But yesterday morning, I thought it was so nice outside. And I thought I would go out and pull some weeds in the front flower bed. And this is the one where we have been talking about needing to take it out almost completely because we had a series of drift roses in there and they all came down with rose rosette. And so we decided we needed to do a major clear out of this particular bed. But Jeff and I had proposed to have a lot of help.
Yeah, we were going to call in the troops and set a date and what I think it was going to be like not this weekend but the next weekend.
Yes.
And yeah, we had all our resources lined up.
We had our resources in a row.
We did.
We certainly did.
But
what happened to us?
I don't know. We went out there and I said, "Hey, I might just since you're going to do this, I might just get a head start and pull one of the roses out." Well,
yes.
We ended up clearing the whole thing ourselves.
We ended up clearing the entire bed, and those roses are tough.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, they were tough. But I will tell you right now, we have some grandkids and some kids that are going to be very happy that the activity is completed.
Yes, they will.
And they won't have to do that. So.
What a difference. We ended up, because of the rose rosette, you're not going to compost those or you don't want to send them anywhere to be composted. And so we did have to use actual trash bags. And how many of those did we fill up with roses?
We filled up, I think 4 with just the roses.
With huge landscaper bags, not kitchen garden.
No. And I mean, I know Mary, we cut them and she was working hard getting some of the other stuff out. But to do the roses, you can't, they're just so big and prickly, you can't just throw them in a bag.
They are.
So I just sat down and with my little hand cutters and I cut them into really small pieces so they all go in a bag. But man, it took like an hour and a half to do that.
4 bags of small pieces.
It was 4 bags. Yeah.
Pieces.
Yeah. So we got it, but you know what?
We did it.
It was unexpected, but we did get it done.
We did.
So that activity, we mark right off the old checklist.
Which I'm thrilled about. I'm astonished.
I know.
When I look out there, I'm astonished.
I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I think there's going to be others that are probably
going to be celebrating. They're going to be throwing a party.
Their whatever weekend day we were going to do it is now free for them.
But this sounds very typical for us, but we chose the one day where we actually had plans for the evening.
We did.
We had really terrific plans. I have to just talk about it because it ended up being an extraordinary evening.
It did. Jeff
got us tickets to go and see Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra. And it was dynamite.
You know what? I will say this. For those of you who don't know, Jeff Goldblum is actually a jazz pianist. Outside of all the acting and all the other crazy stuff he did. And if you've ever heard him on a podcast or anywhere else, he's just, his mind just is amazing.
It is.
And he's nonstop.
He is.
And we went down there for that. And he was actually supposed to start at 8, but he came out and just sat on a stool 30 or 40 minutes before and just started talking to the audience and telling stories and interacting. And he actually went over. They didn't actually start playing until about 8:20. He was out there talking so long.
Wow.
It was amazing. The guy is amazing. If you ever get a chance to see him, he's just a very entertaining person.
Mm-hmm.
And the music was fantastic. He has a jazz band and he has a fantastic singer. And, but
and they pulled in some local musicians.
They did. They pulled in
extraordinary
a sax player and a horn player that was local to the University of Texas,
mm-hmm.
and had them on for several songs, and they were extraordinary too. But the best part is he's playing, but I can't even explain it. He's so animated while he's doing it, and in between the songs, he's talking, and just the entertainment value is unbelievably high,
mm-hmm.
and I would absolutely recommend.
Oh, the rapport among the musicians, and I don't know, just the life that they brought to the music was superb.
Yeah, it was really good, and he seemed, of course, he's Hollywood, but he seems like a very genuine person. I mean, he. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem to be putting on a facade. There's actually no way he could. I've heard him on podcasts. I've seen him in interviews, and there's literally no way you could put that on as a not being you. So mm-hmm. really good. It was really cool. We really enjoyed it, and we had a blast.
So the picture is that after Jeff and I did all this digging, hacking, pulling, and general hard labor in the front garden. Then by the time we arrived at our event in the evening, we were hobbling in.
we were.
I'm sure they wanted to ask us, do you guys need a wheelchair?
Yeah, no, we could go right to our seat.
We made it. We made it to the seat and had a wonderful time.
We absolutely did. But you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to work and play. So,
but we chose that day.
Well, that was,
that was out of the blue.
That was out of the blue, and it was cool out for once. It was
very refreshing.
It was not too bad in the morning, so mm-hmm. It worked out. We're done with that part of the activity. So
it is nice.
Yeah.
The bed was. We did a podcast on this one plant that was growing in the bed. It's a member of the spurge family, and it's sort of related to poinsettias. And it was covered. The bed was covered with this plant. But it's quite easy to pull out. Not too hard, but underneath it is Bermuda. Mm. So we are trying to decide how we're going to taking care of getting the Bermuda out. That's our next focus.
Well, Mary's going to work on that for us.
I'm going to work on that.
The scientist in the family.
But gosh, I've planted seeds. I've planted some chard. Mm-hmm. We got our rhubarb seeds planted, which is very exciting. And I got the artichoke seeds in the ground. I got potatoes planted. Our blackberries are now in the mm-hmm. ground. We did a lot of work.
Yeah, you did. You did good stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. And we're enjoying so many of the things in the garden are waking up now because we're entering our fall extravaganza, I should say. They are very lively. They're coming back to life.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. Yes, I'm looking forward to a good display this fall.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Anything else new?
Boy, I can't think of anything right now.
Well, we're going to zoom, and I mean zoom, Mary. No, we're going to jump into our first topic. What do you have for us?
Well, since we did clear out the bed, this is a really good time to start talking to everybody about soil and getting to know your soil better. And if you are going to have a fall veggie garden, this is one thing that you could try to do to understand your soil in the garden. And also coming into the fall time frame is when we want to put down compost or soil amendments that are going to go over the winter and get us ready for next spring.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that I wanted to just talk about a little bit is a jar soil test.
Okay.
It's something that anybody can do anywhere. And what it does is that it gives you an idea of your texture of your soil composition a little bit, whether you are too far towards clay or too far towards sand, whether you're right in the sweet spot, right in the middle where they call sandy loam. And what you do is you go and you source a jar, quite a substantial jar. It needs to be like a 32-ounce canning jar, possibly, or something along those lines. And you're going to fill it halfway with what you dig up from your soil that you want to figure out what it is. And I would take out rocks. I would take out organic leaf matter, or if it's large, or sticks, you know, plastic. We get plastic that blows in our garden all the time. It's incredible. I always find something out there. But anyway, and what you're going to do is you're going to fill your jar halfway with your soil that you dig up. And you are going to put in maybe 2 or 3 drops of a liquid dish soap. And then let me say it another way. You want to fill your jar halfway with your soil and then fill the jar with water. Then put your liquid soap drops in. You don't need very much. Put the lid on or put a covering on the jar, and you're going to shake it really good and just saturate all that soil really well. And you're going to put it down somewhere where you could leave it for, it might take up to 3 days for everything to just really settle. And what you're looking for is the layering of your particles in your soil. And I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What do you think would be the heaviest particle between sand, silt, and clay? What do you think is going to be the heaviest?
Well, I would say clay. Does it sound,
yeah, to me. I really expected clay to be the heaviest, but it's actually not.
Is it sand?
It is sand.
Sand, okay.
Yeah. So your sand is going to settle to the bottom of your jar, and the next layer up is the silt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reason that it takes so long for the particles to clear out of the water is because the clay takes the longest, and it'll be at the top layer. And then above that, you're probably going to have organic type things floating around. Your water probably won't be clear, but it'll be, it'll be a little bit transparent. It'll be transparent.
So you can tell it's in, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the levels.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to have a ruler. You're going to measure the total sand, silt, and clay and see how far up the ruler that goes. And then you're going to measure each layer. And the clay could be a hairline. That's okay. You just put it as close as you can in measurements. And you're going to divide those measurements into your hole and determine the percentages. So let's say it's a 33% of each one, which theoretically people would describe as possibly ideal. I don't know, that might be too rich in clay, but anyways, then you can find yourself a triangular chart. Very interesting.
Okay.
And it is going to help you sort of determine where you fall in the spectrum of soil. And the first soil texture chart was that in my research, I looked at Milton Whitney in 1911, and he really used your XY axis to try to describe the different soils. And after that, it's been modified and modified over time. And so you could look online. A soil texture triangle is going to bring up a graph for you, a soil texture chart, and you're going to be able to find these. What you do is you take 2 of your percentages and you will draw a line across the triangle. And let's say you had 33% sand and 33% clay. So you would find the 33s and draw your lines. Mm-hmm. And then at the point where they intersect each other is where your soil is going to land in the chart. And it's just a guideline. It's not perfection or anything like that, but it will tell you the main reason why this is something interesting to do is because it helps you understand how to water that area. Mm-hmm. If you have a heavy sand soil, of course you're going to have to water more because the water's going to run away or pour out. And it also could lean a little bit further toward the acidic than toward the alkaline. In a clay soil, maybe you're going to have to be careful about how much you water at any one time, because if the clay particles absorb the water, they won't let go of it very easily. So this is kind of interesting,
yeah, cool.
Pretty detailed when you start studying it. But this is one test that a homeowner can do very easily to give them the first step in understanding their soil.
Very nice.
So I thought I would kind of bring that up today and have a little discussion of it.
That's pretty cool that you can do that at home. Now, what role does the the soap play in it? Why do you have to do that?
Well, soap is going to this saponin in the soap is going to help the particles suspend in the water and help the particles arrange into their layers.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The soap is like a wetting agent to help each particle.
Oh, I got you.
The water.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now that's something anybody can do at home, which is nice. You don't have to send it off or do anything like that.
No.
Okay.
That's a good way to start out, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a good way.
And the different components are interesting in themselves, how they fit together with one another. The sand, of course, can be angular or rounded, and it fits together somewhat like marbles. That's why the water can travel through it quite readily. And then the clay particles, they fit together like dishes stacked on one another. And they fit tightly together, and that's why the water has a hard time coming in. But once it gets really saturated, in our garden where we have the limestone clay, for instance, we're trying to grow our little hibiscus out front. That's a hardy hibiscus in sort of a lollipop form, and he's struggling. And he is probably in a spot where it's sort of like a bowl in the limestone clay, and either it's holding too much water by the root ball, or it's not allowing enough water penetrate for him. He is struggling this year. I feel bad for him, but we keep trying. So yeah, that's the first little test that I'm going to go out there and do on our newly.
Yes, our newly. Well, that'll be cool. I'd be interested to see how that comes out, and we'll let everybody know what ours looks like. But
part of it is good because we want to put in more desert type planting.
We're going desert.
a little deserty.
Going southwest.
Going a little southwest.
We are.
Maybe a Texas Southwest type
Texas
flavor.
Southwest. There you go.
Yeah. Not a completely arid.
No.
We'll see.
No, I think it's going to be cool when we do it. It's a little different.
I'm excited.
Different for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been leaning towards it. Now we've been buying a lot of that those type of plants. So
we have been stocking up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it. They seem to they can get through anything, all the heat and anything Texas throws at them at least. So that's cool.
Well, it's very interesting to me that many people, Texas has so many ecosystems within it that I can only really talk about the one closest to us. And it's quite vegetative. It's not an arid desert. There's quite a lot of growth that happens near where we live.
Yeah, I mean, Central Texas is definitely, I mean, you're right. There are different grow areas.
There are.
Texas is a big state, obviously, and a lot of different areas. So true. That's true.
That is the first thing I had on my
that's pretty cool. I'm interested to see how that turns out. I'd never heard of that, and it's going to be kind of cool to see.
It helps you when you're talking to either your county extension agent or someone at the garden center about what you want to plant, and then you could have that information, and they could give you guiding direction.
Knowledge is power, Mary.
Oh, I like
that one.
That.
I think I made that one up. No,
you
I'm just
did.
kidding.
You're so talented.
Yes, thank you. No, that's cool. That's cool. We'll report back and let you guys know what we find out.
Well, we're a little off the cuff today, and I'm not sure that we have our next segment.
Oh, I think we might.
Okay.
I think we might. So we're here in Jeff's Corner.
Yay.
I do have a couple little things. So the first one has to do with something we just talked about, where we did the roses and we cut them down and pulled them out and all those things. And I got to tell you guys, when I first started doing it, I had just regular gloves on, and I got to admit, the roses, they're rough. I mean, and we had varying. We had like one that had really big thorns and some that didn't. But it didn't matter because they go right through any regular gloves. But I had bought Mary some rose pruning gardening gloves.
They are fantastic.
A while back. They're from a company called Hand Lady. Hand Lady. Jeez. Hand Landy.
Oh, okay.
Visit the Hand Landy store. I was pretty good. Hand Lady. The Hand Landy store. And they go up all the way up to your elbow. And I got to tell you, these things, I mean, you can grab things with them, and I mean, nothing goes through them. And they're pretty amazing, to be honest with you. And there's no way I could have done it. I mean, you just can't. You can't mess with roses or anything with thorns without that. And so I definitely would highly recommend that. I just wanted to let everybody know that was a much needed thing when we were doing the roses. And we've used them for the other roses in the back too. But it's pretty amazing. It's kind of, at first I was hesitant to, actually grab, but you can actually just grab the roses and do whatever you need to. So,
well, the one thing about the gloves that is so fabulous, you would think that they would be super stiff and hard for you to curl your fingers or manipulate the glove, but they are not.
They're not. They're actually goat skin, believe it or not. They're made of goat skin, and they're not. I mean, they're not expensive at all. I mean, for what they are, they're really good. But they're flexible. Anyway,
I love them.
Yeah. I was gonna just throw that out there. It's just definitely if you're messing with roses, you want to get some type of gloves that.
It could work for so many different plants.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
Wow.
The other thing I wanted to talk just real quickly on is that, there is a bird migration going on right now, and especially, here in Texas, and there's a cool site out there. There's a site called Birdcast out on the internet, and it actually keeps track of all the migration activities. So, for instance, I don't know how they get the information. I mean, I think they have satellites and whatever. But according to their site, last night across Texas, we had 2,790,300 birds across the state of Texas last night.
Wow!
And they have all these really cool statistics and the altitude, the direction, which type are going, and it's a really cool site. And we, Mary had reminded me that, hey, their migration is happening. And so we put birdseed out yesterday.
Everything was full.
And everything was full, and woke up this morning and everything was empty. Now, I do know, they are migrating, in the evenings. So I'm curious if they're, when we were gone a little bit yesterday, late afternoon, but that's a lot of birds to actually drain those bird feeders.
Mm-hmm.
That takes some effort. It was either that, or it was that rascally little squirrel got into it. I don't think he did, though, because of the way those bird feeders are. They're not as open as the other ones that we had. It had to be birds, but it's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And near us, I say near, it's probably 30 miles away from where we are, is a sanctuary site that Jeff and I have visited before. And I wonder if the migratory birds flew into there.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And took a rest along the way. I don't know if they do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. But like I said, if you get a chance, the website is called Birdcast, birdcast.info, I believe it is. But they got a lot of cool statistics.
That is super.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I'm astonished.
I
Wow.
know. It is kind of cool how they, I could probably delve in there. How do you know it was 2,700,000?
Mm-hmm.
But they have an estimate of the peak migration traffic right now is 22,829,500 birds are in flight estimated.
Oh my.
And it's got a little disclaimer: not all birds may fully cross a region in one night, resulting in a greater number of birds in flight than total crossed. But anyway, that's,
We did see an unusual bird in the garden that we couldn't really get a good look at because our dogs went and chased it.
It's so funny. So we're sitting, and we sit on the porch in the mornings and have coffee and admire Mary's garden. And she said, "Jeff, look, there's a bird. I don't think I've seen." But as soon as she said, "Look," our dogs ran down there, and I didn't get to see him. And that was I'm sure. I think he just went and hid.
He did.
I think he was still there, but just not where I could see him. So we'll have to keep our eye out tonight and see, or later this afternoon when it kind of dusk, and kind of see if they hit the bird feeder. I'll fill them back up, and we'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I do know that the ruby-throated hummingbird is traveling through our area during this week. It's one of the posts that I saw come up.
Okay.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I love it.
We like our birds and our stuff.
We do.
That's what I had for Jeff's Corner. Some
I'm
rose gloves and some birds. There you go. So, Mary, with that in mind, what's your second topic?
Well, we were talking about plants that we have picked up to fill our new look in the garden. And we just happened to be at a big box store recently, and this one caught our eye. And it's called the Adam's Needle Yucca, also called Yucca filamentosa is the botanical name. It is gorgeous. He's more like on the gray-green side instead of the yellow-green. Currently, the way he looks to my eye, he mixes so well. We have a patch of Blue Daze, Daze, which is it's a member of the Morning Glory family, and it's supposed to be an annual, but the plant has been in the same spot for me for 4 years, and it is full. It's just gorgeous. And he's kind of in his container. He's waiting to see where he's going to go, but he looks so pretty with those blue days blooming plants. And this is a yucca that is very cold tolerant. And so he will go down to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
I've never been anywhere that's minus 20 degrees.
Oh, we have. We've lived in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We've definitely.
Did it get down that cold?
Yes.
Yowza.
Yes, it was cold.
It was cold.
We don't have to worry about here in Texas, but yes, when we lived in Minnesota, it was that cold.
He should get like about 18 inches high. So he is not a tall growing yucca plant. He might get between 2 and 5 feet wide. And he generally blooms in the spring, sort of in the spring to summertime region. And he'll have a very large white bloom. And I think they're pretty long lasting when they bloom.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It has white thready filaments that grow along the leaf margins. So it does have a variegated type appearance, and that makes it, gorgeous, really gorgeous. Every time I talk about the yucca, this just tickles me to no end because they are members of the asparagus family.
I know, that's crazy.
I cannot wrap my head around that, but it's hilarious. But anyway, so yes, I think that it is supposed to be native from Virginia, coastal Virginia, down to South Florida, and over towards South and Southeast Texas. That's interesting to me that it's an eastern sort of.
Yeah, it is. That is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
So it's naturalized to quite a large area around the world now. Lots of people like to grow this one, and it is pollinated by the yucca moth. That's pretty cool, right? I don't think I can say that botanical name. Tageticula yuccacella. That is the yucca moth. They use it as a host plant for their eggs.
Wow.
And it should grow very well in our area. It should be able to withstand the humidity that we have because it is grown in the southeast. And like I said, it needs full sun. It needs to be watered, but not a lot of water. Now, we have color guard yucca that we have grown for years, and they do very well with just a minimal watering each week. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a gorgeous addition, and I'm pretty excited about where we might put it because it's not a very tall growing plant. So he could kind of live towards the front.
Okay.
Possibly. We'll see.
You got a lot of figuring to do out there now that you got a nice canvas.
It is. It's going to be gorgeous. Well, I recommend everyone to look up the Adam's Needle yucca.
Okay.
So,
like it. Yeah, it did look cool when we picked it up. We weren't going for that. We went for some other thing. We said, hey, this thing looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and grab it.
It is rabbit resistant, deer resistant. Well, you could imagine why, right? It says on here that it is fire resistant. That must be pretty.
That's amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
I've never seen a plant say that.
No.
That's
It is a detractor for butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds.
Well, it fits right in with our gardening.
Yes.
The way we like.
Yes.
Bring
I
them
think
all
it's
in.
going to be gorgeous.
Cool. All right.
All right.
That's an awesome subject as well. Well, what else you got for us?
Well, the last thing I have to talk about today is kind of funny. We were out there and we were pulling, and I was pulling the spurge that's related to the poinsettias. And along the way, I was pulling up this other little plant. And I'm showing Jeff an example of him right now because this,
thank you, Mary.
This little plant actually comes up in the cracks of our sidewalk.
Oh, it is. Yes, it is. Now, okay, you're right.
It is a native. It's a tough little plant. And the interesting thing is after we were finished for the day, it may not have been yesterday. It may have been the day before. I happened across a post that was talking about this particular little weed. Mm-hmm. And it is commonly known as doveweed, or it also goes by the name of prairie tea or goatweed. And the botanical name is Croton monanthogenus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is in the croton family, similar like we would go to the store and buy corkscrew croton, those vividly colored plants that are grown as annuals here. And it's in that family, in the spurge family. The genus is croton. The spurge is the family. It's an annual plant. The leaves on it are kind of a soft green. They're sort of oblong with a little bit of a pointy tip. And the underside is a gray color. And the leaves are not shiny or glossy. They're very mild. And they grow up and they kind of grow into an arching form, right? And they do have a nice taproot, which is going to be important for us to talk about later. They have tiny, tiny white flowers, and the example that I'm holding right now actually has the flowers on it. And if you start pulling on this or you crush it or you walk by it, it does have a very pleasant fragrance that it exudes when you bruise the leaves or whatever. So it is a cute little plant, right? But I never knew it was an important plant. I always thought it was growing where I didn't want it and I was going to get it out of there.
Weed,
right?
Yes.
I thought it was a weed.
Right.
But it's actually not. They can grow between 6 inches and 3 feet tall.
Wow.
And they grow in the full sun. They grow in a drier condition. And what they are is they're a plant that will come in, and if you have disturbed soil, they will be one of the first colonizing type plants of the soil. And the taproot is important for 2 reasons. The taproot is going to create structure in the soil so it won't wash away, and it'll hold it in place. And the other thing that it does is, because it is a very strong taproot, it will drill down and create openings in the soil for water and air to get in. And as other plants begin to take over the succession, that's important for their roots. So that's another thing that's interesting about it.
Hey, and we've been pulling it.
And we have been just pulling the heck out of it.
Poor thing, he's trying to help us.
Now, one thing about this plant that I learned is that it is very important for wildlife. The mourning dove, it's an especially important plant for the mourning doves because it does have very small seeds that it produces during the year, and they come through and eat those seeds. And we do see birds hop down into our gardens a lot, and we're always wondering, well, what are they doing? We think they're getting worms, but They could be getting the seeds from this little plant.
Interesting.
They're also very important for wild turkeys, bobwhite quail, and other birds. And they're a host plant, which this surprises me, for the goatweed leafwing butterfly. And I've got to see that butterfly. He's quite lovely. He is kind of a darker orange color with black margins around his wings. He looks beautiful. And the one of the uses, now I say this with caution, you need to identify this plant before you ever try it. And you need to be cautious. But it has been used as a tea for a very long time. And if you look on the Ladybird Wildlife Center's website, they'll discuss how you can make a tea from the leaves of this little plant. Isn't
pretty
that
cool? That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
I know. That's it is. I mean, it's very interesting because we didn't know what it was. So I guess when you see something that's different, maybe it's worth taking a little extra time, kind of seeing what it is.
Well, I do encourage you to go out and look up the Ladybird Johnson. I think it's a post on their Instagram that I first ran into it. And the director is standing in front of a live oak tree, I believe it is. And they're using this as a ground cover underneath that tree.
Wow.
And the masses of it are just beautiful.
That's pretty cool.
It's a delicate little plant. You would hardly think it would be that tough, right? To grow where no one gives it a second thought.
Yeah, very cool.
And when I took the dogs on a hike this morning along the trail, we did a little trail walk, and towards the dry creek bed, there were just masses of these plants growing. And you could imagine that the butterfly would definitely find a good home in the midst of them.
Nice. Look at that.
It's just a wonder,
It is. That's pretty cool.
Very awe-inspiring.
Well, it's kind of cool to know. I mean, everything plays a part, in the ecosystem.
That's right.
Kind of everybody has a part to play. And that one definitely has an important part. Very nice. All right. Very cool.
Jeffy, I do believe that I have expounded upon all of my
You've done
subjects
good.
For the day.
You've done really, really good. Do you have any parting words for us?
Coming into the fall season, I wish everybody pleasant weather, lots of good gardening, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and it is nice. We call it's getting cooler. It's like 90 or 80. It's when something if the temperature has an 8 in front of it, we're pretty excited here. But it is cooler in the mornings.
Oh, it is.
So that's been nice. So it's starting to feel like fall.
One of our daughter's friends asked her on the phone, they don't live in Texas, and they asked her recently if the leaves are starting to turn. And she said, from what? Green to dead?
Yeah. We unfortunately don't have much of it.
We don't have that type of fall.
Yeah, but that's okay. We have our own special stuff here in Texas. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Mary. And as always, we appreciate you guys joining us here on the podcast. And we'll be back next week with some who knows what. You just honestly never know. And you never know what we're going to wake up one morning and go do out in the garden. We're pretty unpredictable, and we like it that way.
We do, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy gardening, everyone.
Yes, happy gardening. And we will see everyone here next week here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. Bye.